Hi everyone, welcome to the Tiny Studio. I am Nell and this is my tiny studio. I hope that you're having a great day. This is a let's crochet and chat kind of day, kind of vibe. That's what's happening here in the tiny studio is crochet. As you already know, I talk about crochet. I talk about my 20-year journey as a dreadlock diva, and I also talk about my obsession with vintage coach. So you have 3 different things that I'm talking about here in the tiny studio, and you have the advantage of subscribing to the channel where you can just watch whatever video you would like to watch here in the tiny studio. I'm thinking about really starting to showcase a little bit of my jewelry making and the design process that goes into, crafting jewelry and whatnot. So I may do that in the future. Let me know if you would like to see some of those videos. On the channel, I mostly wear my own jewelry. So today I have on some beautiful crystals. And these are rose quartz that I'm wearing today because I'm feeling the love and I want to feel more love. And rose quartz helps you to manifest that love that you are missing in your life. And as we all know, that sometimes what we feel is missing in our lives is also based on the fact that we're not attracting those things. And the way that you attract love in your life is you have to be about love too. Right? Right. So my rose quartz helps me to not only attract calmness and serenity and love into my life, but just having them on my skin helps me to radiate the love that I want to receive, because I'll be giving it out as well, right? And today I also have on some lapis. I think this is so cute. And I also have on some of my own faux pearl jewelry. Yes, 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 yes. Yo, girl is the artist. You know what I mean? It's what I do. It's what makes the tiny studio just, it's what makes the tiny studio, because things go on here. So, what are you working on today? Well, here in the tiny studio, I am working on crochet as always. I took a break from working on my son and my future daughter-in-law's Afghan, because sometimes with creativity, you need to feel that mojo. And I didn't feel the passion. I didn't feel the mojo anymore. So I put that beautiful project aside and I started working on other things. So one of the things that I'm working on, I think that I shared with you the beginnings of a granny square Afghan. And here she is today. She started off as this granny square, this irregular granny square that I created probably back in 2019 when I was learning to crochet granny squares. And she has some wonky things going on with her, but I was able to repair those issues, and I just began to create the Afghan around the main granny square here. And I'm using some yarn bee sugar wheel yarn as well, and I'm attempting to use of the last of the Karen Simply Soft yarn that I have here in the tiny studio. I have a lot of blues. Well, I have two skeins of blue left, a skein and a half of the pink, and she looks like this. and I have a white skein. And see, I purchased all of those skeins of Karen Simply Soft, and they're pretty old. I've had them now for probably about 4 or 5 years because I was using them in projects to make, make scarves. And what did I make with those? I made some scarves, and I made, well, basically they were scarves. They were scarves. As a matter of fact, some of them are sitting behind me right there. And I just, just starting out crocheting, I love the texture and the softness of the Karen Simply Soft yarn. And so I just bought a lot of it. I think I was at Walmart, because I think I purchased them from Walmart. I was at Walmart, and I just, went crazy over the Karen Simply Soft. And I hate to reiterate this, but it explains why I still have some Karen Simply Soft in my stash, and the reason why they are about 5 years old now. And the reason is because Karen and I have a love-hate relationship, and it's because she unravels. So whenever I use her, I become frustrated. Really frustrated. And if I make a mistake and I have to frog her, she becomes tangled on me, and it is just, the words that fly around in my tiny studio when the Karen Simply Soft becomes tangled. It's crazy. But that's why I had to put her away for a while. So in the process of me organizing my tiny studio, and you have so many things going on. I have so many things going on in the tiny studio. I have crochet going on. I refurbish or rehab vintage Coach bags. I'm a writer. I have that going on here in the tiny studio. I paint. I have so many things going on here. Oh, did I already say I create jewelry? So I have lots of things going on in the tiny studio, and I have lots of tools of the trade here. And so I have to keep everything organized. Or if I don't keep things organized, it turns into a big mess. And when you are, in the middle, or when you are in a tiny space, you have to be very cognizant of how you make that space work for you and how you store things. So as I was going through a purge of sorts, I came across the Karen Simply Soft yarn, and I said, well, I've had it for about 5 years. Why don't I start using it and incorporating it into other projects? And so that's what I have been doing. I have been slowly using, trying to use up that stash. So the Karen Simply Soft that's featured in this Afghan is going to be the turquoise, as you can see right here. And she is going to be, I started here. So she is going to be featured in this Afghan, and I think I also featured her this color in another Afghan I'm working on. Is that true? I could be lying. I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Give me a second. Look, go and get your work and your hook or your knitting needles or whatever it is that you're going to be working on while we're chatting today. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to get my things together and show you what I'm working on, okay? All right, 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so here is another Afghan that I started. And I think that you were around when I began this project as well. This features a granny square. It started with this beautiful granny square with the purple ombre color with a little white around the edges. And so I just built out from that. And so we're here now. Oh, this is I named this Afghan here. I named it Sunday Tea. And the reason why I named it Sunday Tea is because the yarn that I'm using is a sugar wool yarn, but the name of it and the colorway is called Petit Four. I think it's called Petit Four. It's called Petit Fours galore, and I love Petit Fours. When I had my home back in Detroit, oh my God, I used to give tea parties, and I love a good Petit Four. I do. And the name of this Afghan is called Sunday Tea, and the white that I'm using in this particular Afghan is a Caron Simply Soft, and it's the last skein of the white of the Caron Simply Soft yarn that I have. And so the white that you see in this Afghan is the Caron Simply Soft, and I'm using it as the icing between layers. Icing. Doesn't that sound delicious? When was the last time I had a good Petit Four? It had to be about almost 18 years ago. So I need to order some Petit Fours, right? Yes, Petit Four, Petit Four. And as I was looking at this Afghan, I was thinking about the colorway, and it's called Petit Fours galore. And I was thinking about the different textures. Like you have the pink here, and then this brown. Well, this beige or brown could be, an almond Petit Four, and of course this is pink and strawberry flavored Petit Four, and then the greens here. What about pistachio Petit Fours, and blueberry. It's just Petit Fours galore, and that's why this Afghan is named Sunday Tea. So this is a great project that I'm working on, and as I said before, when I start new Afghans is really because I'm concluding or I'm at the end of some other Afghan projects, which I most certainly am. But I think this is so cute. I love the colorway of this too. I love the colorways. And actually, what I did with this Afghan is that the greens that you see here, these actually came from the Petit Four yarn that I was using on the project I just saw you. So I just thought that the greens would fit really well in this Afghan. The colorway of the green would be really good in here, and that's why I pulled it from that one. I pulled it over here. So that's my phone ringing. Why does my phone always seem to ring right when I'm making a video or I'm hanging out with you here in the tiny studio? Okay, they'll call back later. All right, so I was thinking about working on this today, but I'm going to show you also when I say that whenever I start new Afghans or new projects, especially like this, it's usually because I'm at the end of some other projects, of which I am. And what am I at the end of? Well, remember that beautiful, 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 beautiful Afghan, that granny square Afghan that I created, and I told you that I was going to gift her, and I put her in a washing machine, and I did everything I could, everything I absolutely could to protect her, but she still came, some of her stitches came loose, and so I had to repair her. However, I got this bright idea that I was going to add another dimension to the Afghan, and that dimension was flowers. So I started crocheting flowers. I started crocheting flowers, and I thought that I had enough for the project. And as I was working on her last night, I realized I needed to crochet about 6 more flowers. But I'm going to get it done. So let me show you how she looks so far. Of course, you know I have her in a bag to protect her. Even though I had her out last night, I put her right back in this bag. All right, here she is. Okay. So this is my first completed. This is my granny project that's completed. That was that is for a friend of mine, and so I was able to start adding the flowers. So here's one. Isn't that cute? Okay, and let me see. Where's the other? And it was like I laid her out last night to get a feel of how I wanted the flowers to be positioned. And that's when I realized I still did not have enough flowers for this project, because I had a design in mind when I was crocheting the flowers. However, when I laid her out on the work table last night, I realized I did not have enough flowers for the design that, or the concept that I had drafted in my mind. So as you know, here's the first flower in that corner, and here is the second flower in the corner. Isn't that just the cutest thing? Oh my goodness, she and her partner are just going to love it. So what I need now is I'm going to need an additional flower for this corner and the 2 additional corners. Now what I was trying to decide is whether or not I'm going to have flowers on both sides of the Afghan. And it's a work of art to me, so I don't know what they want to, or what they plan to do with the Afghan upon when they receive it. But that's what I was trying to, think about. What should there be flowers on the on the back of the Afghan? Should there just be flowers on the front of the Afghan? I don't know, and I haven't really decided yet, but I'm guessing that perhaps I may place smaller flowers on the back of the Afghan, maybe. I don't know. I'm still kind of iffy on it. Maybe I'll just have flowers just, on one side of the Afghan. But anyhow, there was a repair spot that I was working on that I put a flower on too, which I'm going to have to work on that anyway. Let's see. Okay. So here is a flower here that I placed right where there was a mishap at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet probably about 2 more of these beautiful flowers, and I'm going to group them here, and then I'm going to group them again on the opposite side of this Afghan. And what I realized about adding the flowers to it is that it just gives it a little bit more texture, and it just gives it a whole different dimension or level of, you know, of beauty when you start layering things. And I'm really excited about it. So what I need to do is start crafting more flowers, crocheting more flowers to go on this, and she will be done, right? I hope so. I hope so. But this is the one finished Afghan. And don't you just love gifting crochet projects, or, you know, knitting projects? I just love gifting them because it's a labor of love. But, you know, you have to be careful about who you're gifting things to, because sometimes you can gift, you know, certain, you know, projects to crochet items to certain peoples, and, you know, they may not have the same respect for the craft or the art form of crocheting that you may, the same level of respect and reverence. And, you know, they may not take care of the project the way you may feel they should take care of it. Now, if they bought the project, well, then, you know, it's on them. But when you're gifting it, to me, it's like a different thing. It's a different type of feeling that I have. I mean, yes, when I create something for someone and they are a customer and they purchase it, yes, there is a level of respect I feel that should be, you know, leveled or maintained, of course, because I am the artist or the maker. But in essence, this is something that you paid for, so it's really your responsibility to take care of it. But when I gift things, that is another layer of love that I am presenting to someone. And for me, if I present to you a crochet item and as a gift, know that many hours of time went into that. Many hours of love went into that crochet item. And, you know, it's all in the stitches, right? You know, so maybe, you know, if you're not a crocheter, if you receive a gift of love from a crocheter, treat it as a gift. Treat it as what it is, because a lot of time and a lot of energy went into making that or crafting that project. I mean, it's not simple to crochet, and it's definitely, you know, can take away from the time that a person can be spending doing something else. So always respect the crochet artist and respect the beauty that they create. Okay, so here is the second item that I'm almost completed working on. Oh. Okay. This is she right here. And since I started that thing with making adding another dimension to my Afghans, to my granny square Afghans, I have been toying around with the idea of making flowers for this one. She is almost ready. She is almost finished, and probably I'm going to continue to use the yarn that I used here. And I believe this is all Yarn Bee, Hobby Lobby yarn here. And I know, you know, I love Hobby Lobby yarn, and it's because of the way it feels. It's soft, and that's what I'm going for. That's what I go for when I purchase yarn. I go for the way feels in my hands, as well as the way it feels on the hook. So Hobby Lobby has a really great selection of beautiful yarns that I am a fan of. So this blanket is almost done, and I'm thinking that she probably is going to need she probably is going to need maybe about 20 more rolls, I guesstimate. 20 more rolls and she'll be finished, and then I will add some flowers to her as well. I think that's going to be my new thing. I think I'm going to add that 3D dimension to all of my granny square Afghans. I think that'd be cute. So as I said before, whenever I start on new projects, it's usually because I'm concluding work on other projects, and it's true. So she's the second Afghan that will be done, and you know, I'm thinking about selling her. I don't know, I was thinking about putting my blankets on you know, starting an Etsy store or something like that, but I don't know. I might just, you know, create another website and just add the blankets to the website, and you know, it'll be a first come first serve type of situation. And then if someone would like to commission a project, that would be fine as well. I don't mind. I do have to say that working on granny square Afghans in general, you know, I usually just use just the yarn that I have in the tiny studio, or you know, I usually don't plan out my projects. But these last 3 projects that I have, they're basically planned projects. So, which means that it costs money that I have to invest in the yarns. So for a commission project, then, you know, that's going to be kind of pricey because of the yarn and, you know, the time and all those things that go into it. So, you know, if you are a potential client, a customer, stay tuned. I mean, it might be something that you like or that you want, and maybe we can work together, and I could create that that Afghan or that blanket for you. So give me 30 more seconds, because I'm going to put this blanket up, because let me tell you, I'm not trying to have anything else happen to this blanket. But I am going to have to make maybe about 4 more flowers, or nice size flowers, to add to that particular Afghan, you know, but we'll see. Today, what am I going to be working on as I yak with you? I'm going to be working on, I don't know. And I had a whole idea of what I was going to be working on today. But that idea has left me. What? I don't know what I'm going to be working on today. Maybe I'll start working on the towel. I have some brown yarn around here somewhere. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll just start working on a flower. I did say I needed to work on a flower, so maybe I'll start working on a flower today. That sounds like a great thing to do. Next week I will be working again on this beautiful Afghan for the fall. If you recall, this is called the baked sweet potato granny Afghan. Isn't it cute? Yep. I'm going to be working on her next week, and hopefully she'll be ready by the fall. she'll probably be ready way before then, but I won't probably put her on the website for sale until, you know, fall. She'll be ready for the fall activities, things that happen in the fall and winter time, and, you know, the holiday season. And she's called baked sweet potatoes. So of course there's the sweet potatoes, and there's the brown sugar, right? And cinnamon and nutmeg. So delicious. I might have that or make that for Sunday dinner. Okay, so I am going to, I'll just probably start on making some flowers, you know? And I had some flowers, some yarn around here. Oh, there she is. Okay. I was looking for my yarn bowl. Here she is. And here's the purple. And here's my hook. Now this is something that I started on, and this is called the popcorn flower. So I'm thinking of popping her on one of my other projects, because I don't think there is any of this in that one, this color in that one Afghan I was showing you. I think it's in something else. So I might use this particular flower pattern for the another Afghan. Okay, so I'm going to be making a flower. I'm just going to be making my basic flower that I made before, which was consisted of 2 rows. You know, the first row has about 6 petals. The second row has about it has 6 petals too, but they're a little bit taller. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to make my get started, right? Yes. So what are we going to talk about today? I know the last time we talked about Uvalde and what was happening there, and all of these mass shootings, which is ridiculous. You know, and what's ridiculous is that nothing can be done. And why do I say that? Well, I was listening to NPR yesterday, and I just found that it was something that a doctor said on, professor said, and he said the reason that there probably won't be much movement on gun legislation in this country, and what makes America a little different than other countries who do not have this problem, is simply put, it's our governmental system. And as he said, you know, we have one main central branch, which is the federal government. But the federal government is what? It doesn't regulate everything that happens in the 50 states. So we have a central government, and then since we are a country made of 50 states, we have 50 other governments that regulate what's going on in each state. And then we have a House and we have a Senate, and both of those are equal in powers, and they have the power to cancel each other out. And we have a Supreme Court, which has the power to cancel everybody out. It's plain and simple. So how many governments is that? 1, 50 is 51, 52, 53. We have many governments here in America, and that's the reason why it's very difficult to get things done. And that's why the professor was saying that trying to get some, you know, really good gun legislation going on in this country. That's why it is near impossible for that to happen. Okay, so as you know, crochet is about counting. So I was yakking and not counting. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I need 8 single crochets in this magic ring. And so now I have 8. I use the slip stitch here because sometimes I use a I use a stitch marker here in the first stitch so that I don't get confused or make the mistake of where I'm going to slip stitch the last stitch to the beginning stitch. And sometimes I make that mistake. And things turn out badly. Slip stitching right now. All right, there we go. You know, stuff has been going on with Monique and DL Hugley. You know, it started out as a contract dispute over who was supposed to be the headliner. And, you know, Monique started releasing her work, her paperwork, saying, well, the promoter stated that she was the headliner. And then DL started bringing out his paperwork where it stated that he was the headliner. And so it was like a whole big mess going on there. But homegirl Monique went left on us real quick. I have to say, she started going in on DL and started talking about him as a father, and it was just really bad there at one point. And you know, she started posting videos of him talking about, you know, different interviews that he did, you know, where he talked about how, you know, he didn't believe his child when she said that, you know, she had been molested by a friend. And, you know, Monique jumped all over that. And then DL's daughter came out and was like, you know, you need to keep my name out your mouth. Next thing you know, Monique comes out and she puts out some more videos of DL back in the day calling women, black women, saying they're nappy head, black women saying they were nappy headed. It was just a big mess. It was really sad. I guess Monique was trying to prove a point, and her point is, or was, that let me make sure I count this. Her point is that she feel, you know, her point is that she felt that DL is not a protector of black women, and she felt that DL in some way, I guess, should have, you know, when he realized that the promoter was, you know, that there was a discrepancy, that he should have came out. I don't know what Monique's deal was. Okay, I don't even want to try to ascertain why she did what she did. Here's the thing. She had a dispute with the promoter and not DL, and then it turned into a personal vendetta against DL Hugley, which is ridiculous. DL has came out and tried to, you know, attempted to defend himself, which is great. You know, DL has been problematic over the years, but which one of us has not been problematic in some of the things that we have said on social media or wherever we may be? You know, it's called evolution. It's called growth. And you know, you would think that, no, you wouldn't. Because I don't understand how people's minds work. Just like I don't expect other people to understand how my mind works. But it seems like it's a concerted hit on DL Hugley, on his character, and also on who he is as a public figure. And the reason why I say that is because she's not letting up. You know, Monique, she's posting videos. She had a video where she talked Instagram live where she had her husband on. You know, she goes into this "I love us for real," but yet and still you're attacking someone's child who was traumatized, and now you're re-traumatizing her, and you're going to blame it on DL. Well, this is what he said in his interview, but that has nothing to do with you. And if this is all about some type of dispute that you're having with the promoter, why aren't you just disputing that? Why aren't you having this dispute with the promoter and not with DL Hugley and his family? That's the part that I don't understand. Why are you having a dispute with DL and his people? You know, saying that DL's wife is, you know, sleeping with a coward. What's up with that? You know, how disrespectful is that? You don't know that lady. And if you did know her, why would you be talking about her husband or her private business in public like that? And what is your point? That's the thing that I keep running back to with Monique, is I want to know, what's your point? What's the end game to all of this? You're pulling out old videos, you know, you're making lives, you're saying "I love us for real" and all this BS, but what's your end game? Is your end game to destroy DL Hugley? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like that's your end game. It sounds like, is that what you're being paid to do? Is to destroy this man? Destroy this man's name, his livelihood, all of those things? I don't know. So that's what I want to know. I want to know, what is Monique's end game? What's her plan? Is her plan to take down DL Hugley? Because, you know, to besmirch him enough to really take him down? What's her plan? You know, she said to DL's daughter, you know, I would love for us to continue this discourse on your dad's show. So I don't know what her plan is, but I'm confused. You know, and then when she does that "I love us for real," I'm trying to help you out, sisters. It really doesn't feel like that. To me, it feels disingenuous. It feels like she's trying to help herself out. That's what it feels like to me. What you think about this? And you know, I look at Monique as a peer. You know, we're about the same age. And so when I sit back and I say, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I sit back and I say, hey, I think she's wrong. I'm like, girl, you wrong on this. I say that not because I'm hating on her. I'm saying that because if I was her friend, a real friend, I would say the same thing to her. There are ways that you can handle a lot of stuff. There are ways that you can get your point across without having to target people, without having collateral damage, is what I'm saying. And I feel like Monique was trying to prove a point, but she was creating collateral damage. And the collateral damage was, is DL Hugley's family. That's where the damage is coming in. I mean, really, was that even necessary, Monique? I don't know. And then, you go to your TV screen, and I'm guessing Wendy Williams is in the Wendy Williams show is in its last few days of its final season, and you have Phaedra Parks on there, and Phaedra Parks was one of the housewives of Atlanta until she was, let go because of, some uncool stuff that she did allegedly on the show. And so she's back on the Bravo landscape as a guest or a friend of on the show The Real Housewives of Dubai. So she's on the Wendy Williams couch promoting the show, and they ask her about how she feels about whatever is going on in Atlanta or on the Atlanta Housewives. And in one breath she is complimenting Kandi Burruss, which is whom she has a conflict or had a conflict with, which led to her being dismissed from the show or not being offered another contract to extend, to go another season. One minute she is, congratulating her and, saying Candy's a hard worker and she's a great businesswoman and blah, 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 blah. But then the next thing she says, well, here I am, now, I'm hanging out on yachts, and I'm not over there like the ladies are on Atlanta on the Titanic. I'm on a yacht. So I am guessing she is talking about the ratings of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I guess that was supposed to be a dig. But what I just don't understand about black women these days is that in order to promote ourselves and in order to uplift ourselves, why do we have to stump all over each other? Why do I have to, in order to uplift myself, why do I have to put oil or gasoline on another person and light them up? Why do I have to do that? I mean, we as black women, we have so many things going on in our lives, so many obstacles that we have to, so many hurdles that we have to jump over, obstacles that we have to beat down, and push through to survive. So why would we sit back and, just torch somebody else and then put cement on them and build a foundation and put ourselves on top of it to elevate ourselves? I mean, why can't we all just work together? Now listen, I understand this is all television. This is all entertainment. I understand that she said the things that she probably said because she's being entertaining. She had the lights and camera on top of her. She had a national platform. So of course, Phaedra or Faye had to do what she is being paid to do. But I just sometimes feel like we can do the things that we would like to do and get paid to do without having to dog one another. Why do we have to dog each other to be successful? Why is that a thing? You know, why are we sitting back and we're talking about people and we're throwing mud on their reputations and on their character simply because there's a camera on us and there's lights there and we could get we're getting exposed to millions of households. Why do I have to put down another black woman to be successful? I mean, how ridiculous is that? That doesn't make sense. I think that we need to stop doing that. I think that we need to rethink that. We need to rethink how we move in these streets out here. We need to rethink how we get our money, get our paper. Putting down our sisters just to get ahead. And guess what? We may do it. We may become famous. We may get ahead. We may do all the things that we want to do and dreamed of doing. We may become a success. We may become a hit. We may have all the money in the world. We may have not one yacht. We may have 10 or access to 10. We may have the man of our dreams in our bed. But the bottom line is, all the bodies that we had to step on or incinerate to get there. And if you are a human being who has any kind of feelings, then somewhere down the line while you are enjoying all of those wonderful, accolades and awards and bank accounts that you've received for stepping on people, somewhere down the line, you're going to hold, or you're going to have guilt, and you're going to have regret. And the thing is, once you say things, and once you begin to put certain things in motion, you can't take it back. It kind of reminds me of something that, Mary Wilson said in her book. The first one, Dream Girls, when she talked about, the things that happened with the Supremes and with Diana Ross. And I have to say, this is all allegedly, because I was not there. But I read the book. As a matter of fact, I read her book. I read Diana Ross's book. I read the biography on Florence Ballard. And I also read Berry Gordy's autobiography. So, anyhow, it's still allegedly. But like Mary Wilson said, in the quest to become famous, if your heart is not right, you're going to do whatever it takes. And sometimes whatever it takes is the very thing that jeopardizes your relationship with the people who are on that ride with you, the people who started that ride with you, the people who were down with you. Those become the expendables. Those become the people, the collateral damage that you have to exchange for fame. I mean, and some of those relationships are irreparable. There's no coming back from that. And I just wonder sometimes if people like Phaedra Parks and Monique, I wonder sometimes whether or not they think about that. That you can be doing something that or make a move or say something that becomes irreparable. Because it's a situation where you can't do anything to come back from it. All you can do is just watch the house burn down, because there's no amount of water that can save it. That's why we have to be careful about the stuff that we say and why we say it, you know? Well, that's 55 minutes into the hour, and I'm still working on this flower here. I have how many more to go? 4, 6, I don't know. But it'll get done. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the tiny studio. I hope that I was able to provide some content that you could crochet to or knit to, or whatever it is that you're doing in your tiny studio or big studio. I hope that I was able to give you a few moments to listen to me yak about what I'm thinking about here in the tiny studio. So check me out next time. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, if you are a returnee to the tiny studio, you've already subscribed. But if you haven't, go ahead and do so right now. I'll wait. Thank you. All right then. Continue to have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'm going to continue working on these flowers. I will check you out next time here in the tiny studio. See you later. Bye-bye.